All right, so if you guys weren't, or if you guys didn't have enough heroes yet, we actually found out the game between Excelsior and UF, which I'm actually going to ask them right now. Oh, they called me out.
Oh, no.
Either way, they are going to be going live now. They caught my comment about the Heroes of the Dorm teams facing off. But that's okay. I still love you guys. Perform well, and you can throw it in my face. Either way, the draft is already done, but the game hasn't started. So it looks like Gilly and I are going to be able to cast Excelsior versus UF, which, what does UF stand for? So we're going to get that information. But again, if you guys want to check out the bracket to see how things have played out so far, just type in !bracket in chat. You'll be able to get all the information. Be able to follow, I guess, a lot on Battlefy what Divergent Gaming has been doing. You'll be able to check out the teams, click on the teams, and it is University of Florida. And you can find out all that information. We saw Afro Doge, who was put together from some members of Resurgence and 2ARC. We saw the UTA, which is University of Texas Arlington team. That's their Heroes of the Dorm team, members from Team Blaze. They just took down Afro Doge, and they're moving on to the finals. And they're going to be facing off against the University of Florida Heroes of the Dorm team, or Excelsior, who are about to cast right now.
Yeah, I'm excited that we were able to jump into this game. It will be on Infernal Shrines. I think it's our first Shrines game of the night.
It is. We had Sky Temple twice and then Cursed Hollow, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of teams have really been favoring Infernal Shrines lately. So I've been seeing a lot more play on there, but can have longer games on it too. So we'll see if either team is able to get just a snowball victory, because otherwise it can provide a good area for comebacks and late game team compositions, which it looks like we have some of already, as I see a Lunara, but there's a Li Ming too, guys, so get hype because we have more Li Mings.
I love the fact that Li Ming, who as of like 5 days ago would have been written off and never chosen in first ban all the time, to after the balance patch, and basically I think it was a fairly I like the nerfs all around. I think they were all necessary. And so now we're going to see Li Ming quite a bit. And landing those skill shots is definitely going to be a thing. I want to make sure that these teams are ready. It looks like we're just about ready. The draft was done. And that looks like both teams are ready up. So Gillyweed, we are ready to move into the semifinals. This is the best of one to move into the finals. They're going to be facing off against the UTA Heroes of the Dorm team, which we just saw, and we're just a game behind. But either way, this is going to be a best of one. We will be moving on to a best of three here in just a moment.
So I recognize the Sylvanas player. G-Spot LOL has been playing for quite a while in Heroes. The rest of the names I don't recognize, but I will learn them now. Meanwhile, University of Florida, do you recognize any of the names there?
I can't say that I do.
Yeah, I don't.
One person is super tall, though.
Super tall.
Super tall, playing Thrall. I got to make sure I have the right names here so I get these names. Excelsior has been the Magic J. Okay.
I think I played versus them today in Team League, maybe? There was a dorm team that was like, hey, you just faced the dorm. I'm going to actually look that up. Wait, I can't do that right now. But, yeah, I think I might have played versus them today. But regardless, we are on to Infernal Shrines. In the blue, we have Excelsior, with Ben the Magic J playing Johanna, Ciari playing Jaina, G-Spot Law playing Sylvanas, Cruel Alloy on Brightwing, and finally A Rubies playing Lunara.
And for your University of Florida Heroes of the Dorm team, we have Heron on Li Ming, Zingo on ETC, Time Drum on Rhaegar, that super tall guy on Thrall. I'm curious if he's taller than I am, Gilly. And then Witcher is going to be on Zeratul, who I have been loving all the changes on Zeratul, who's been making some pretty epic plays. Shout out to Equinox, however you want to say it, for putting together some of the best Zeratul play I've ever seen. Unfortunately for them, they had some internet issues and were not able to qualify. I'm not saying they would have, because Team Nom played great, especially when they played them. But man, shout out to Equinox. I mean, there's a lot of people. Deadly Ice, who I saw, I believe was on Team Nom.
Yes.
He has made a name for himself after the qualifiers recently.
I heard about his Greymane play. That is just unreal.
Any melee assassin that he played, mainly Greymane and Zeratul. I'm not sure if he manned Illidan, but man, it was a thing of beauty to watch.
I really like that it seems like that flex position is starting to be kind of the star-studded. I mean, it was before too. You know, we had Glaurung and iDream, but it's really become the star-studded role and the playmakers for a lot of teams. But A-Rubies is in trouble as Witcher comes in. Not going to be able to get the first blood of the game just yet, but Leonora really has to be careful. She is so squishy, and her escape is right-clicking toward her base.
It is tough. She moves a little bit quicker, but not quick enough. As we saw, the bait was there, not able to capitalize it. But we are going to see a four-person rotation coming down here. We do see this rotation coming in. We do have Conjurer's Pursuit at level 1 for her talent for Jaina, which means she does want those. But outside of that, we don't have a whole lot of reason for the teams unless they just feel more comfortable rotating over. Knight Takes Pawn is going to be there for Ben the Magic J. Coming in there, Witcher, he does do damage. He actually took quite a bit of damage before he blinked out, being very aggressive there on the Zeratul for the University of Florida. Here's the Dorm team.
Excelsior has a really great rotation composition between Johanna, who can obviously condemn people in. They have the Sylvanas there too. They have Brightwing, who is with the change to Arcane Flare, giving it more damage, great at that as well. And then Jaina. They just have this really amazing rotation composition. And University of Florida realizes this. They realize they're kind of taking a hit by just staying in their lanes, but it generally tends to be the case that one team is just far superior in those rotations, and the other team just has to kind of sit and be safe in lanes while waiting for that first Punisher phase.
At level 1, we do see Prog Rock that was picked up there for ETC, which means he's going to have that extra health regen. But is that going to set up the potential for a stage dive? A lot of times we'll see them spec into Power Slide at level 1 and level 4, and that's what I love there. Witcher on that back end, getting polymorphed is the poison damage. That's going to finish off Zeratul. But Gilly, your favorite Brightwing level 4 talent Peekaboo, that's going to be problems for Zeratul all game long.
Absolutely important when up against a Zeratul if you have that Brightwing to grab Peekaboo, because it's going to be so crucial. Good Brightwings with that will constantly phase shift in when you're waiting for the fight to break out, because it helps you keep tabs on where that Zeratul is trying to flank from and get a good Void Prison into the back line. So we'll be seeing that a lot, hopefully, from Cruel Alloy. But so far, Excelsior right about to pick up this Frozen Punisher. Just a few more Skeletal Defenders left, 4 left, and University of Florida are realizing they can't contend with this. They are just going to give it up. Make sure that they have all of their heroes left so that they can still have a good defense and get right back into the lanes to soak.
We do see the priority. They're going to take 3 members down here and see if they can do anything with this Frozen Punisher that was very easily grabbed. They're able to take this. The Blizzard coming down in that backline, as we do see Blizzard spec'd into at level 4 with that Snowstorm, so that's very good on this map, especially during that Shrine phase. But can they get an early fort here? It looks like the damage is coming out. Obviously dropping back here. Time Drum has to be careful, but the legend of the Punisher lives on, Gillyweed.
It's almost like he is a professional fighter of some sort, the way he's throwing out those punches. But this is the power of Sylvanas in general, but especially on Infernal Shrines. Normally, you cannot get a fort with the first Punisher. It gets baited over the wall, and then while you take out the wall, the Punisher's getting taken out by your opponents. But when you have Sylvanas, all of a sudden, no structures are helping with the defense of that Punisher, and it's a whole different ballgame. And now with that, an early fort pickup, experience lead now going for Excelsior, and they have level 7 talents to top that off.
Definitely in a good position with that Punisher and Sylvanas there, but how it plays out, nice haunting wave there by, is that G-Spottle? G-Spot Lol? Interesting.
Yeah. It's a name.
Yeah, that's a name. We'll just call him G for
I think G is good. That's what I was thinking as well.
G is good there. But level 7 now being hit there for the University of Florida Heroes of the Dorm team as well. Again, level 4 Hammer On is going to be chosen. So if we don't see Stage Dive, it's going to be very tough to land those mosh pits. I mean, it's definitely possible, but it can be a little bit more difficult. As here in the top lane, we see Witcher being sniffed out there by Lunara, being able to keep vision on that little, I guess, image, the little mirage that you're going to see of Zeratul as he rotates down, continuing, but Peekaboo is going to place that range on that, Gilly. Is that too much?
Heck no, it's Brightwing. She is perfect in every way, Jay. How dare you even suggest that? I love it. It's very annoying for Zeratul to have to deal with that, and I'm really excited once we see level 10 to see that just constantly push him out of being able to get a good Void Prison. Super tall, throws down the Wind Fury, trying to maybe go in and pick up a kill, but not finding that. Now, about a half-level lead for Excelsior as we're moving into the next Shrine phase, but there's still plenty of time for University of Florida to maybe get some picks, take a couple of people out before this Shrine phase gets out of control for them.
And if Excelsior is able to move forward, grab this shrine, and then be able to take down another fort, they already are in prime position to be hitting 10 first. But the longer this draws out, as we see Brightwing making great use of that global mobility, sitting down in that bottom lane soaking. This is a pro play right here, because Brightwing, if you're going to be doing that with anybody, as she now shifts in, and she's going to be there getting as much XP as she could, now coming up for this fight, almost at 10, but we do see the delay in here, but they are getting enough poke. They're already up 19-2 here, Gilly.
It was nice that they forced Brightwing to come in, and in fact, they're going to be able to take her out as the orb goes down, and that is very big for University of Florida. They are going to lose ETC, though, so it's a 1-for-1, and the big frontliner is down as Time Drum even is going to get taken out, too, and that will help Excelsior pick up their heroic abilities and end the contest from University of Florida for this shrine.
Excelsior making a very strong showing so far in these team fights, proper rotations, being able to keep an eye on everything, and it looks like we do have Brightwing back on the field. We do see ETC finally coming back up. Rhaegar is going to be there, but this next Punisher is going to be coming out. This is going to be a Mortar Punisher pushing this top lane. Will they make the priority here once again with Sylvanas? There is no tower or gate in the way, and it's going to make a push straight towards the fort. Super Tall having to hearth back there because he has no mana, which means that this is probably going to be a pretty easy fort here, Gilly.
Yep, they're starting to come in. Witcher is moving to the side. Heron needs to be careful and might have to just safe rotate around, but trying to do what she can. And Orb plus Disintegrate nearly melts down Brightwing. She's going to be able to walk away from there without getting taken out. Very standard heroics across the board for all of the players thus far, and with that, the fort will go down, and they may even be able to get some towers here, Jay Howe.
This is huge right now. Sylvanas not even having to do much as the damage is coming out. The vision is out. Hopping in that back line is Zingo. The Ancestral Healing coming in just in time to keep ETC alive. That's a huge save there because they are making a huge push as the Punisher finally goes down, but that entire gate and tower is down there, so a nice aggressive play right here from Excelsior, and they're going to try and capitalize on that, and they're going to grab the camp right here, right underneath the nose of University of Florida's Heroes of the Dorm team.
Zeratol was coming in, and right at that time, Peekaboo came out, and he was like, okay, I guess I'll go back to my base. And this is a big problem now for University of Florida, because this is the problem that happens when teams start getting a good few Punishers in a row, is you get such a good level advantage that pretty much at every single time a Shrine comes up, you have the talent tier advantage. So University of Florida needs to make sure they're soaking their lanes. They need to try to get picks if they can. They have heroes who can catch people out, and they just need to make sure that they themselves don't get caught out and try to get just whatever picks they can. Hope that Excelsior starts to get very confident with this and maybe oversteps their bounds, but for now that's not really the case of what's happening.
Level 7 Lunara's Nature's Calling is a great thing for killing all things
Oh
non-heroes.
my gosh, yes. It's been so good on the Shrines. Like, if you look, one auto attack pretty much is the entire health bar of those.
It's pretty wild. I mean, the amount of damage that comes out from that poison, as we do see the damage coming out on this front wall. In this middle one, if they can take down some type of well or tower or even the fort here, they're going to be at 13. Put them in a great position. We see the Arcane Orb coming back in. Will we see the Mosh Pit? The Mosh Pit does come out, but the Sundering is going to come out. The Ancestral Healing does land just in time. Ben the Magic J is in a little bit of trouble, but on that front line, we do see Zeratol get taken out. That is the power of Lunara as the power slide comes in, the face melt coming in, but ETC going down. Time Drum in all kinds of trouble here. It looks like he is going to be slowed, and he's going to go down. Super Tall in all kinds of trouble. Gilly, this is a 4-for-nothing trade in favor of Excelsior, and they're going to take down another fort here.
Yeah, that was tough. Zeratol came around, got hit in the face with a wailing arrow that made it so that he could not do anything. He couldn't leave. He couldn't blink out or anything. So that was really big for them to be able to take him out, and especially before the Void Prison went down. That really could have tried to help separate the team out so that maybe University of Florida could have been able to get the picks that they so desperately needed, but being able to stop that from happening was huge for Excelsior, and that helps them maintain that lead as they start working on getting this Arcane Punisher.
The damage is huge here. Will we see any type of nerf to these Guardians the same way that we saw the Sylvanas nerf? I mean, originally Sylvanas could do extra damage on Infernal Shrines. They changed that for a lot of heroes that did that extra damage. Are you surprised at all? Because Lunara absolutely tears those up in a brutal fashion.
I'm actually thinking that talent might be potentially nerfed just in general. But we'll see what happens. It's so good. Like, her push power with it is insane. And in the past, when heroes who have been thought to be maybe too good at pushing when they're also good at other things, nerfs like that come in. But we'll just have to see. Maybe Blizzard is totally okay with her kind of having that split push value, kind of like Brightwing has too. But interesting level 13 for Jaina. We have Stormfront going to be the choice at level 13. And that's something we've been seeing a little bit more often, is this very safe build. It gives a bunch more range, 100% extra cast range for Blizzard, so she can stay nice and safe in the back.
Not able to capitalize as much on this Punisher, but they did get that front gate down. A little bit of damage going on the keep as we now see the Wailing Arrow coming out, and down goes Jaina. No ice block, as you just called it, level 13. That is crucial. Ooh. The Mosh Pit coming in. That is a 3-man Mosh. They are taking it down and completely turning this fight. Can Ben the Magic J get out of here? He is already mounted up, salvaging what he could, but that Mosh Pit was huge there, Gilly.
Yeah, the big thing is that Void Prison was actually able to go off that time, and I think it only caught Lunara, but it was enough that people were kind of standing around it, and then the Mosh Pit, like you said, got so much value as they were able to really finally break out of this constant siege from Excelsior. And importantly, they did not lose any of their keeps, although top and mid are fairly low. But this is their time. They've finally caught up in experience. They're going to start going around. I love that they're stealing these mercenary camps, being as aggressive as possible, and still keeping Zeratul up in the top at the same time to make sure that they stay even in experience.
They turn this entire game around where it looked like they were in a backs against the wall situation. Now, there's still 3 forts standing for Excelsior, but they've basically put themselves on even playing field in terms of experiences. Both teams are pretty much hitting 16 at almost the same time. But these fights now look a lot different later in the game, and you know, Li Ming is going to be very aggressive with, we see Glass Cannon again at level 16, or in level 13, as level 16 is hit. We're going to see Mirror Ball chosen as well, trying to get that extra damage out of Li Ming, but the next shrine is coming out, both teams at level 16, and we have a camp pushing the top, but at the same time, Excelsior has one pushing the bottom, which is going to force them to defend, because this is going to be knocking on a keep if they don't.
Some interesting talent picks coming out from Excelsior. A lot of times when you have Jaina versus Zeratul, the pick is Frost Armor at level 7, and it's still Frostbitten, so it's still more damage, although picking up Stormfront does at least help in that you could stay safer while still throwing out those Blizzards, which are really her big damage dealer. Also, she does have Numbing Blast, so the hope is if Zeratul starts to come and attack her, she can hit him with something and then be able to root him so that they can turn around and take him out. But we'll see if how that's going to turn out for them now, as both teams are working on the shrine.
The Mosh Pit coming out once again, but that is already interrupted. But not before Jaina and Brightwing go down, and the power of Li Ming is coming in as she gets another takedown there on Sylvanas, and being chased down was Johanna. Gilly, that changed very quickly there.
Yeah, that went super fast. But Zingo with these Mosh Pits, man, he's been on point. And even though they've got Polymorph, they've got Wailing Arrow, they have Blessed Shield, they're still able to make sure and get those Mosh Pits, even, like you said, too, without that Power Slide build, still able to make it work. And I think that's really just because of the fact that you're forced into these close quarters fights around the shrines. So he's able to still find places where heroes are clumped up trying to move into the shrines.
One of the things that I talked about right before this game started was the fact that some of these teams are going to know that when you have the advantage, when you want to fight at a Punisher, it's best to go down, rotate down, clear out what structure might be in place to get maximum value. And it looks like they're going to go ahead, Hearthbank, clear up the lanes, do what they have to do, regroup. They're only 2 away, which is going to be very easy to grab. And then they're going to be able to get max potential out of this Punisher. And the way these last few fights have gone, University of Florida, here's the dorm team, looking really good right now, Gilly. They're in a strong position.
They are. They've really been able to turn it around, too. It's always really impressive to me. Actually, hold that thought, because Zingo is in trouble, getting slowed down by the poison, but the Sundering coming out to try to help him escape, trying to get back. Disintegrate from the side, forces out Ice Block from Brightwing, which are moving in, trying to take him out, but make sure he doesn't get taken out himself, as that poison damage is starting to become a lot to deal with. There's invigorating spores picked up, which is increasing the attack speed. So once she uses that, she can throw out those attacks very fast to try to help burst somebody down. But the Punisher has finally been picked up, and they are going to push with it, hoping to get as many structures as possible.
Yeah, they have to make sure this fight doesn't draw out too fast, but we did see Thrall go ahead and Hearth back to try and take care of that camp that's pushing the top lane. So that up there is basically going to neutralize the potential value out of this Punisher. So a nice pick up there by Excelsior, forcing them to drop back, but we still have University of Florida up here grabbing another camp, at least forcing them to defend a moment longer. Excelsior there, but nice cleanup there by Thrall. The Punisher was there, they won the fight, they now have a full level advantage, but the defense there by Excelsior means that this fight is going to go on. Both teams should get to 20 fairly reasonably before the next one, but the damage is coming out here as we've got another engagement, Gilly.
I would be very scared about following University of Florida into that choke, because Mosh Pit is available and Sundering is right on the horizon too, and I'm glad that they did not try to go for that. Instead, Excelsior already going back out into the lanes. They know that they are behind about a level in experience and need to get caught back up before the next shrine phase.
And we do see the rotation over here, grabbing another camp, but the Wisp is out, keeping an eye on everything. That's the power of Lunara. It's very underrated. Now we have Ben the Magic J coming in with that shield, coming in from the shift, and are they going to be able to steal this? The Wailing Arrow comes out. Zingo, that's the Nature's Toxin, doing all kinds of damage. That is a dead ETC. Witcher having to receive the Ancestral Healing to drop back there, and man, this is a very strong point for Excelsior. They have a keep standing right in front of them. If they can take this down and get another pick, this could be game, but it looks like they're going to be happy grabbing a keep, and will they back out, or will they try and stay on the aggressive approach here, Gilly?
Yeah, I think backing out is definitely the right call to make. They took some damage, used all of their heroic abilities, and there was still Mosh Pit and Void Prison available too. So although ETC was down, there was the potential still to have Void Prison hit them and get separated out and then lose that advantage that they have just started to pick back up. But it's been neck and neck between both of these teams, looking good on either side, but the structural war is definitely in favor of Excelsior, as they've already taken down one keep and are looking to get another one. ETC still 10 seconds until he's back up, but both of them about to hit level 20.
Yeah, not able to take that keep down. That keep with barely any health left. I'm surprised we might not have got a Jaina poke there, because at level 13 we did go on that increased range on that Blizzard, but not able to poke there. They're going to be content with dropping back, taking the advantage that they had to be able to get to the Shrine phase first, but rotating over is going to be that of University of Florida. Both teams now at level 20, so the fights are real. 2 Bolt of the Storms coming out on the side of Excelsior. That extra double wormhole going to be there, of course, indestructible for Johanna, and then Forest Wrath going to be there for Lunara. So the talents are in place, and the fight is going to happen here.
There goes Ben the Magical J with the Condemn, trying to move back, has already used Iron Skin. Sylvanas and Brightwing taken out, and that's giving Heron all he needs for another Disintegrate. Zingo, though, is going to be eliminated. Went in to try to get a mosh pit, but all of his teammates were so low that they were scared to try to come in there and potentially get taken out. Heron, remember, has that glass cannon, needs to try to get away, is very low on health, but they see Lunara and the potential to get a takedown here. What is going to happen? Lunara goes down. Will they get Johanna too? She has to use Iron Skin, and it's already been taken out. Here comes the Temporal Flux. That is 60% slow, along with Disintegrate is so huge. Indestructible gets procced, and they should still be able to take her out.
Witcher diving in there on that back lane, making the huge dive over the wall, securing that kill was a thing of beauty, and they turn that fight around very quickly. This is going to be a Punisher for them, but we do have minions on the core. It's only going to do so much. The shields are still up, and in this middle lane, we do still have a fort still up, as you talked about. The structure damage has been on the side of Excelsior the entire game, which means that University of Phoenix has a lot of damage to do here in this middle lane. They are going to get this Frozen Punisher. They still have another 30 seconds for Johanna, 20 for Lunara. How much can they get out of this? This is their potential to try and get max value to do some damage, try and get to that keep, and possibly try and get a pick or two to win the game, but it looks like Excelsior is in a good position to defend here.
All right, so it's a Frozen Punisher that comes out. I'll have to watch out for all of those stuns because of Sundering. I mean, if somebody gets stunned by that there, although Thrall isn't here at the moment, could easily throw out Sundering to pull them back. Looks like no defense and no pushing with this at the same time. It's just John Cena doing his thing, punching a tower. There he goes. He's going to jump down onto Ruby's, who's going to try to kite him back into safety so that they can take him out.
So not trying to push with this. They're going to go ahead and grab camps is University of Phoenix. So they still don't have the fort just yet. There it is, being taken down by Heron. But they're not even going to get any front structure damage in here. That Punisher is already dead. I mean, I understand they're playing safe and getting camps, but I really felt like that was an opportunity for them to try and at least get some structure damage there in that middle lane. But they're going to go ahead and play back and possibly look for the next team fight and try and rotate that into a game victory. You know, a very safe game. We're 21 minutes in, and this game's going to be going on a little bit longer, Gilly.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was interesting to not see them try to push in farther, especially since they have lost a keep. They're in danger of losing another one. And so after being out on the map for so long, they eventually do have to go back into their base and defend that and push back the lane. So that is some time. They need to make sure that they're doing a lot with that time that they are out on the battleground. And yes, they did steal all of those mercenary camps, and they're picking up their bruisers now, but all of those are going to be cleaned up very easily. And there are 3 very healthy keeps still on the side of Excelsior.
And this is another camp that's going to be cleared up. The catapults were pushing, forcing them to drop back, and this is kind of just in a position for the next shrine phase to come up, unless they can find somebody to get picked off here. The Arcane Orb does go out and do a little bit of damage. We see a potential rotation in here from Witcher. We do have all the heroics on the board, but not necessarily looking for a fight. It looks like Witcher might be trying to flank here, Gilly.
He's looking for it. There comes the phase shift. And Witcher is revealed and has to run back to his team once again. He's probably like, peekaboo, why? So frustrating.
A tough position for Zeratul all the way around, but he is cloaked once again, and the positioning here, and we might see as the Arcane Orb hits Lunara and Jaina back there on that back line to do a ton of damage. The poison is on there. Will the keep go down? There it goes, Skilly.
Man, Jay, I'm just now seeing, too, that there's not Wormhole at level 13. It's the Master Warp Blade plus the Assassin's Blade. So he does so much extra damage right when breaking the cloak, and then gets extra movement speed when he's in cloak, but not having Wormhole makes it a lot more difficult for him to try to pressure the back line. He can't just blink in, throw all of his stuff down on like Lunara or Jaina, and then just blink right back out. He has to be a lot more careful with it. You see him moving around. He has to like try to get into position for that. And that's tough when you've got Peekaboo. You're up against Peekaboo.
And we see Ruby's already pointing him out, already getting the poison in, forcing him out of the fight. Will they get the chase here? Time Drum, it is forcing University of Florida to split up just a little bit as they are on the prowl looking for him. But this next shrine is active. It's a matter of who's going to proc this, but it looks like we're going to have a team fight that's going to decide this. And this is huge as the Polymorph does go out, the Blizzard raining down there. The chain heals are coming in, power sliding out of there. We do see the return fire. Witcher does get some damage in there. A mosh pit only catching one. They're not able to get it on the back line. We do see the stuns coming out, the ancestral healing coming out here, Gilly, but Super Tall in all kinds of trouble as it looks like Thrall is going to go down. The Void Prison grabbing 2 members, but barely able to stay alive as that Thrall. The Arcane Orb, can it secure Gilly? We have damage going all over the place. Lee Ming goes down, Jaina goes down, but on the side of University of Florida, we lose 3 members, and Time Drum in all kinds of trouble as 4 members now go down here, and that was a huge fight. Excelsior getting the best of it, but losing 2 members of their own in the meantime.
Super Tall is super sad because he is the only remaining member of his team right now. And there is a Punisher about to spawn. It will be an Arcane Punisher at that. And everyone should be up. Like, it takes a long time for the Punisher to actually walk down. But this is a Punisher that will walk down straight to core. There's no baiting it into the middle keep because that's also down. This thing is walking all the way to core. And actually, will they even... Okay, yeah, they'll still be up. But I like that they're already pushing that lane, making sure that the Punisher, as soon as it's up, moves right to the core. That's
a good point there, Gilia's. Lunara already making her way down, trying to get some damage in on that core, trying to take some of that shield off. The catapults are going to be there here in just a second. Thrall needs to come back and try and defend as the damage already coming out, and that's going to make it that much easier. I think this is pretty much going to be GG. That Punisher is going to be pushing. There's no shields left, and we have 2 lanes of catapults and an Arcane Punisher coming down. It looks like they're just waiting for everybody to come in, and as we see G getting phase shifted to, getting that heal, getting that shield there, this is going to be a very tough defense, and it's going to be almost an impossible task unless they're able to catch them out here on that back line.
Yeah, I like that they are setting up in the back. Witcher is there. hopefully they can get a good voice prison, but they're going to need to try to catch people out, take them out. Oh, Witcher gets caught there with a great numbing blast from Ciara, and already things are going downhill fast for University of Florida as they're getting pushed all the way back into their base. This is not where they want to fight. They want to take people out before everyone gets onto the core, as it's already, going to start getting worked on now too. Wailing Arrow goes out. A great void prison though. Can they make something off of this? Ancestral healing keeps Zingo alive, and now they will have Mosh Pit, but he's going to take a bunch of damage for that. Johanna is down. The warrior on each side, but Super Tall is going to get taken out. The Punisher only delaying the inevitable as he finally moves on to the core, and it will be Excelsior that moves on to face University UT Arlington in the finals.
No Heroes of the Dorm pre-finals tonight is Excelsior proving me wrong for saying that I wish that I could have a Heroes of the Dorm finals tonight.
They want vengeance.
They want vengeance. It's they already have my face up on a dartboard as of right now. But we are going to see Excelsior. So that was the game to get into the finals, and waiting there is the team that Gilly just talked about, is semi Team Blaze team. So some of the names you'll recognize, but we are going to see that here coming up here in just a moment, as we are going to have a best of 3 finals where it's going to be Excelsior facing off against University of Texas Arlington, Heroes of the Dorm team, which is kind of a fun thing to see tonight. But the damage coming out there, Lunara, that siege damage and the hero damage is real, Gilly.
Both Lunara and Li Ming were leading the siege damage and the hero damage at the same time for their teams. But, when you think of Lunara, what is it? I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. Oh, Unfair Advantage. The fact that if a target is slowed, she does 50% more damage with that Nature's Toxin to heroes. And if you look at their team composition, nearly everybody has slows that they can add to it. Of course, Lunara gives slows with crippling spores, but Jaina, of course, everything revolves around slows with her frostbite trait. Brightwing with polymorph, it provides a slow, and then there's the slow that comes from Johanna's Punish too. So she's just able to really constantly deal that extra damage, and that stacks up. And I really love when teams pick her and draft around that, especially when you see Lunara and Jaina drafted together.
The damage was real there. Lunara showing that, hey, I might have been bad for a while, but I'm not bad anymore. And a very strong play, as we talked about throughout the game on Infernal Shrines, to be able to do that extra damage. And the wave clear is pretty phenomenal. But, Gilly, I believe we are going to take just a quick break. Guys, don't go anywhere, because we are going to be heading into the finals here in just a minute. Again, if you want to find out more about the bracket, just type !bracket if you want to find out more about Divergent Game. And you can check it out. I believe the link is right below Gilly's face. I believe it's on that side. So you can check that out. The Twitter, Facebook, all that information just below. So check that out in the meantime. During our break, we're going to give you a moment to check all that out while we go to a quick break and then get you guys into the best of 3 finals that we're going to have here in just a moment. So stay tight, and we'll be right back.